Not to mention the money you have to invest to get your
That's
name
another
out there.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So people are also afraid to spend money.
Mm.
So when I first started, I was at the store dividers in the shop, right? You know, those little
Yeah.
dividers in the aisle. I bought those. I was in the shop, right? Started magazines, postcards. All this costs money. So it's a big investment. It costs a heavy dime. It's not cheap.
Do you notice a return on that sort of stuff? Like, anybody come up to be like, "Oh, I saw your shop, right?"
You will. Yes, constantly.
Really?
Constantly. People texting me pictures of my store dividers. I had a commercial. I was getting messages at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. I just saw you on TV.
Oh, that's awesome.
I send out magazines. I do a lot of stuff. I'm on Zillow.
If you could name,
I market a lot. Yeah.
If you could name one marketing tactic that you have seen has been your best, do you have one?
Different markets will give a different answer.
True.
Different times
True.
will right.
True. Yeah.
Okay.
So prior to COVID, it was Zillow really helped out a lot. Zillow really helped out a lot. It's not cheap, but it did help. During COVID, it was all relationship based. Facebook, Instagram. Once you get your name out there and start selling, you start to get a name for yourself, and you start to post things.
Yeah, it's like anything else. You want to stay in front of everybody. It's eyeballs.
Yeah.
But so let's quantify this again for those people who are listening and want to maybe get into the real estate industry. That first 6 months, you're shadowing, you're aligning, you're teaming up with another group. Let's say
if somebody wants to help you,
right? And if they don't, you're all on your own.
You're all on your own,
right? So for the most part, you just have to be ready to say, "I'm doing this and I'm doing it on my own." Okay, how much money do you think you have to be prepared to invest that first year? Because we're not going to do it just for a couple months.
Yeah.
So for the first year, what do you, if you had to throw a
$10,000.
$10,000. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So you passed the test. Now you're a realtor licensed, and you need to be prepared with that amount of money to invest in yourself before you even see perhaps one sale. And now when you get that one sale, to help everyone understand the math, it may take you 30 days, 90 days, 120 days before you even sniff an opportunity to sell
sometimes longer.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
When that happens and you sell something now and it has to close. So it's one thing to sell it.
Yep.
Another thing to wait to everything checks the boxes. They get their mortgage, their home inspection goes well. There's no material hazards and anything in all that stuff. How much of a commission in our area can you make from selling one house? Now, I'm not talking about both sides of a transaction.
Yeah, so typically
you sold the house.
So typically it's 2.5% to 2%. That's the going rate
on each end.
On each end. So it's 5. The going rate is 5%. Right. So 5%. If you have both ends, it's a total of 5. If you only bring the buyer, it's 2.5%. But then you have to pay your broker out.
Yep.
Which is a certain split that's negotiated upon signing your agreement. And then
so let's do some math.
Yeah.
Let's do some math. Yeah. You sell in our area, an average home is, what do you think the average price point of a home in northern New Jersey?
500,000.
Okay, so 500,000. Yep. And if you had just picked up that one side, and you don't have to tell me, you don't have to tell me what your personal split is, right?
I can't do that.
No, of course not. But you need to, let's say it's a $500,000 house. And you are the realtor who sold the house. You didn't list it and sell it. So you're not going to get 5%. You're going to get gross dollars now here is 2.5. That's 12,500.
Yep.
Right? Now you have to pay the broker who pays for the lights to be on in a building, whether it's ABC, real estate, Century 21, Coldwell Banker, whatever. That's why there's a split, because you don't own that home base. You don't own that franchise, that name. Someone else does.
Yeah.
That's called a broker who
Yep.
has the interest, who pays franchise fees and all these other, it's another business model. So now, what's a typical split on our example of,
A majority of the splits when you start off are 70-30, right?
okay,
You take 70?
Yeah. Yeah. The house gets 30.
Jeez.
So, yeah.
For doing nothing?
Well, they're not.
they'll do
They're,
nothing.
they're paying rent. There's
Utilities.
insurance, utilities. There's carrying costs.
There's
to that.
franchise fees. You got
There's
to pay for
franchise
that
fees.
tag.
No. The franchise fees are different. So,
Okay.
so for example, you start off at 70-30. You take 70, the house gets 30. Some companies at the end of the transaction, once you close, they take another franchise fee off of that 70%.
Jeez.
Wow.
So you're actually not taking home 70%.
Okay.
Oh my God.
So some are 4%, some are 6%. So in actuality, it could be somewhere near the mid, 64, 65%.
So let's just continue.
Yeah.
70% is $87.50
Yeah.
on the 12.5.
Yep.
Now he just said that's his 70% cut. If this is an average example, right? So as the realtor just made their first closed transaction, you now have $87.50. Now there's another franchise hit
Yep.
that could come into play or does come into play, and that's another 6 or 7%.
5-6%.
Well, let's say it's 5%. So now you're netted down to $8,300
Yeah.
for that one real estate that you sold. That's at $500,000.
And then you have to
one
pay
side of
tax
it.
on it.
Of course, that's gross dollars.
Yeah.
This is where, again, as a realtor, you are what we call a 1099 employee.
Independent contractor.
You're an independent contractor.
Yep.
You're going to then take that at the end of the year, all your sales, and you're going to file tax returns based on that. And you'll have
Mm-hmm.
expenses like advertising and things like John just alluded to.
That's what I stress to the agents as well. A lot of people are so afraid to spend that money because they're not selling as much as they want to.
Of course.
So if they're making 3-4 sales a year, but they have to spend $10,000 to help push their business, people see 10 grand and they're just like, that's 1 or 2 transactions for me.
Hey guys, if you enjoyed this clip, be sure to check this one out right here because it's just as good or maybe even better. Cheers.